Have you popular in StarCraft episode 11-20? Thank you all for pressing like and follow. It's encouragement for each other. I apologize for the translation. You've donated capital bank 0253520310. Then let's start. Episode 11 packing. 10 cigarettes to you. Chu Yao turn around and left. Hey, that's 8 cigarettes to you. You take this, it's useless. After arguing for a while, Chu Yao took out 5 cigarettes from his clothes and handed them to Momo. She had 5 pieces of money left in her pocket. All of them were exchanged for Yuanying stones and skin monkeys that were dug up from mine. After paying their share, she exchanged all remaining Yuanying stones for cigarettes. The longer she stayed, the more she retreated. She couldn't help but think of the scene of counting spirit stones when she was her past Chi. Those who'd been cast and cast all the blame for these heavens. Master, do you have a map here? Map, do you have a map of the Union Star? Yes. Not yet, but since you want it, come back in 3 to 5 days, count 2 of you. Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Olmo turned around and waved his hand. As he was about to receive yes, his voice lowered slightly, for the sake of taking care of my business, I will let remind you, there are people outside, be careful. Oh. Thank you. Chu Yao clasped her hand as usual and walked out of the cottage. When I left the house, the night had clearly darkened. Chu Yao had the spirit stone around her clothes, looking casual, but secretly quickening her pace cautiously. Although her spiritual sense was not available, she was still alert to danger. When she came out, she was on behind the shadows outside the house, so she hurriedly took over a few steps. After a while, 3 tall thin figures chased out from the shadows. The 3 of them did not hide their purpose at all. They were following them neither too close nor too far, and they could not eliminate in time. Chu Yao was very self-aware. With her current strength, she could handle 1 fight, but 3 fights would be very difficult, so she could only run away. There was no other way. There was about an hour before curfew, and there were very few people outside. Occasionally, a few miners who were physically and mentally exhausted would sit on the side of the road in days. It wasn't that no one saw Chu Yao's situation, but no one cared about it. In this patient mine, similar plays were being performed every day. As long as these heavenly guardians weren't around, they could do anything. After all, except for those who accidentally became slaves, most of them were once criminals. Theft and robbery were minor, and it wasn't uncommon to meet people to death as long as they weren't discovered. Even girls would let them off hook. If she couldn't go back, she would be locked the door. She couldn't go to her elder sister, because the range of her missing traces wasn't that big. In that case, Chu Yao circled around in a circle, and there were already cameras in place. I saw her body swaying, sped up immediately, and headed straight for the house to the east. Seeing this, the 3 people behind her no longer cared about it, and chased after him. Chu Yao was not in a hurry. They all got were there. Not to mention that they could not catch up with him. Even if they could not really run, there would still be a spirit stone in their arms. There would always be things like spiritual power if you squeezed it. But after she ran for a while, she frowned. Because the situation had changed. In the dark alley ahead, 2 figures made them, standing in the middle of the mobbing away. Hey, I accidentally fell in love with Xiao Tao. Seeing that she could not escape, Chu Yao stopped running and stood still with her chest in her arms, wanting to see what saw her. 5 big men believe me and weak women, how can you show more face? She has no fear on her face, no fear at all. Fairy Chu has defeat. If I did not pray in advance, I would not let her escape today. A nonsensical male voice came from front, and Chu Yao felt a little familiar. A little bit. Sure enough. Do you remember me? She looked at the person who spoke. This man had a delicate appearance and was quite temperamental. He had a stand small white face, which was so white they shone in the dark night. As he responded to Chu Yao's words, he slowly walked over. With a calm expression. Of course, the peerless twin flowers of the Ying&n sect, the National Elder who shot one party, and those 2 ruled in the territory that no one knew, what about you? Stop talking nonsense, what are you going to do? Chu Yao frowned and looked at the person who came. She really couldn't remember who this person was, but she felt a little familiar. Maybe she had met him before. It's nothing, I just wanted to my very cheap talk about this. If he reached a point of emotion, it would be impossible to spend the night together. The men surrounding him laughed and seemingly agreed in their eyes. He thought it was robbery, but it turned out to be sex robbery. But after saying these 2 sentences, plus the familiar white face, it made Chu Yao think of someone. This person's name was Dujun, and he was also a famous figure in the Northern Territory, but he wasn't a good name, because he was greedy for women, and he had done a lot of things to bully men and women based on their high cultivation. Everyone was booing and beating him up. No wonder Chu Yao didn't recognize him. Although Dujun's cultivation level was high, she was only at the golden core level. For her, these were just small things for the younger generation. I happened to meet her in a small mine overseas just now. You, Dujun. Oh, the angel really remembered me, which made me feel so happy. Dujun unexpectedly took out a fan from nowhere and found it casually. That was it. Better, if it means that we're destined. No. But you must be sick. Chu Yao has no loss to anyone. Outside the gate of the Ying&n sect fountain, I was looking up from the angel once, and at that time I was shocked. Since then, I have alert. Love for the angel. Now that you and I meet in that galaxy, it must be fate. If the angel is willing, I will have a private life for the angel. What a poison. What have I made in the stars of this? Don't mention it. If you really want to chase, we use the own method. For the sake of Virginia, quickly retreat and I will spare life. The angel thinks that old Yuanying has not succeeded. Oh, fun Yuanying has such a disaster. Even the Ying&n sect has existed for a long time in name only. Now you and I humans, and you're a woman. You don't have to worry about food and clothing. You idiot, you don't know what he's up with cultivating. I don't want to argue with you, but I didn't think you'd be so shameless. Chu Yao snorted coldly and cursed loudly. After learning the the skill of slandering others has improved, there are fewer twists and turns, and all with a different heart. Chu Yao, don't believe you force. Dujun's face darkened. What happened? Hurry up. The truth had been revealed. After all, he was still a golden core cultivator, but now he colluded with humans and did dirty and disgusting things, which is disgusting. So what? Do you think you can get rid of? The 5 of us? You can't escape. As cultivator, there's no mercy in the heart, but bullying men and women is immoral. As a human generation, committing crimes of elders, big or small, is rude. As a person of opinion, he does not have the same hatred for his hometown, but fighting against heaven and man is unrighteous. A 7-foot-tall man, he is greedy for beauty and hero-like being, only gathering his head by no jealousy. A villain like you, no virtue, no morality, no manners, no shame, killing I will send my sword. Needless to say, you have been reduced to a human being now. Even if you cover your previous martial power, you will stop at golden glory in life. There is no fate for this path. Chu Yao shouted repeatedly. Her voice was like a bell, and the words were like miserable fists hitting Dijon's chest, making Dijon's face even uglier. These words immediately crushed his heart. Even the others were terrified by Chu Yao's push, and so a few stepped back involuntarily. What a joke, the formidable Yuanying Elder plan with only one person below 10,000, even if the tiger broke the sky, happily let the juniors down them. No matter what you say, evil rat, you can't escape my wrath today. Dijon was already in desperate state, and pointed forward with folding fan in his hand, bring her down to me. People also. Too careful or too soft. Chu Yao already had a plan in mind, and when she scolded her just now, she was a little aggressive, in order to let Dijon get close to her, so she could use follow-up method. Unfortunately, this person didn't fall for the trick, which was a bit difficult. Chu Yao stepped forward with both feet, took the initiative to step forward, and walked straight to Dijon in front of her. Thank you, today I will make you a puppet. She shouted with hatred in her eyes, stop her quickly. Dijon's face changed suddenly. Perhaps he remembered the violent past events of this ghost, the intention to retreat arose, and he jumped back several meters in an instant. The corner of Chu Yao's mouth twitched. She had never seen such a cowardly man before. Your brother will summon people, you were afraid of the hammer. No way. Our way out of trouble was just a temporary idea, and it could only be used once. First, capture bandits, and then capture the king. If you refuse on these answers, it would be meaningless. But you really couldn't show weakness. Once he caught a few of them, the consequences to be imagined. When Chu Yao saw change rapidly, his eyes narrowed. But next to the side, Dijon were already in front of him. I became popular in StarCraft. Chapter 12, Hand Grenade. The situation was urgent. Chu Yao couldn't help but hesitate. She threw the new purchase spur stone at the head and face of the incoming gangster. The people on the opposite side were already prepared. He saw something hidden in Chu Yao's arms. He rushed to the side, dodged easily, and the spur stone hit the ground hard. This dodging gave Chu Yao a chance. Taking advantage of that while no one was around, she chased him down for a few meters and ran in the other direction. It was really exciting to run away after being scolded. Seeing this, a few people behind her also chased after her, and something happened. My surname is Zhu, Brother Hu. Chu Yao whispered a name. It turned out that there was another person behind her, but I don't know whether Brother Hu is in the mine. Dijon had only run a few steps, and slowly probably heard shouts from people behind him. Thinking he was frightened of foolish appearance just now, he couldn't hold back. He was really beloved by her. On the way of having a man, these months had also lost their cultivation base. If Chu Yao really had method, he would have used it long ago. Dijon had made up his mind and wanted to win in front of others, so he chased off them and ran to the front. You come out. Chu Yao finally felt a little relieved when he saw the cowardly man finally come to the door of the house. Good job. She pretended to be exhausted, as if she had someone to staggered as if she was about to fall. Seeing the other party like this, Dijon became even more determined. Even though you was noble, but now you're just a weak woman, how can you take it from my palm? He didn't even want a fan, he just threw it around, jumped forward 2 steps and 3 steps, and reached out and grabbed Chu Yao's neck. Seeing the two were getting closer, Chu Yao stopped, turned around, and licked her lips to Dijon with a weird smile on her face. What was she going to do? Dijon's heart was beating wildly, and he had a bad premonition, but his body couldn't stop anymore, and rushed forward due to inertia. Chu Yao's side had been forming for a long time, and with a sudden wave with his right hand, Dijon's vision blurred, and he saw a small green stone floating towards him, and it was already stuck in front of him. It was a middle-grade spruce stone that Chu Yao had obtained from Chu Yao. Chu Yao secretly squeezed the formula with a resolute face and whispered softly. Bomb, this might be the last word Dijon heard before he died. The small spruce stone turned from green to white, and making a fierce light, and a wave of fierce spirit energy instantly rippled. Boom, there was sound like thunder all around, even the ground shook slightly, and the surrounding prefabricated house shook. The dazzling light of the fire illuminated the night, the heat waves rose along with thick smoke, and even the stone floor was shaking and shattered. Amidst the thick smoke, Dijon could not be seen clearly, but half of the blue was gone. Chu Yao also felt uncomfortable, because she was too close to Dijon. Even if she turned around and felt the ground while shooting, it was inevitable that she would be affected. At this moment, she was dishevelled and her hair was scattered, looking a little embarrassed, but she didn't care. Her eyes flashed with unceasing joy. See, I mean, I still want my old lady to lie in bed, and I didn't want to see if I had this ability. Spiritual stones, what spiritual energy of heaven and earth accumulates in mountains and rivers. In other words, it is a combined state of spiritual energy, so its internal structure is very stable. But no matter how stable it is, Ling Shi is minimal with enormous energy. When spiritual energy from the outside is broken and disturbs the internal structure, the consequences can be imagined. Yes, spiritual stones can also explode. Many months know this, but even if you think about it, few people are willing to do it. Exploding people with spiritual stones sounds like killing people for money, unless they are local tyrants or landmines at home, no one would think about burning their own money. Chu Yao coughed and stood up unsteadily. Seeing the thick smoke, she was a little dazed. Is this thing so powerful? There is another reason why the method of manually detonating spiritual stones is not common in monster combustibles. That is, the effect is not good. The explosion caused by the explosion of a low-level spirit stone will disperse most of the spirit power, which is like a mosquito at the monks. And it can be easily blocked by magic weapons or body protection aura. If you want to achieve the effect of hurting people, you need to use a lot of spirit stones. But this is still allowed, and the other party will away with this easy intention. Therefore, this is the first time Chu Yao has used this method, and he has someone with calculated power. For a human, the explosion of a little spirit stone is obviously fatal. The smoke gradually dissipated, and Dijon's broken body fell to the ground with terrifying death. The gangsters who were chasing after him were also shocked when they saw the scene. They had also seen the explosion just now, and they were shocked by Chu Yao's methods, so they didn't let him move forward for a moment. Someone even shouted an aura, grenade. She really has a grenade. The sound just now was so loud that many miners gave out a look. Chu Yao stared at the hesitant gangsters, and then saw that after a few words, these people ran away, ignoring Dijon's body on the ground. It is estimated that there are too many problems, and I am afraid that it will not end well if the Celestial Guardians arrive later. Chu Yao thought this in her heart, and tightly stored the appearance of those feelings in her head. She had never done this before, doing her energy to the evil, no doing it or doing it. Once traces were left, there would be endless trouble. But because of the cultivation, it happened like this. Although she wanted to save a few people, she had to weigh her strength. Unless she exploded the largest person, that would be too idealistic. Fortunately, except for their Dijon, no one should have seen the method she used. Chu Yao slowly walked around his corpse. She was not in good shape of running away immediately by the explosion, and then picked up the spruce-stone thrown on the ground and put it in her arms. As soon as it put away, a group of celestial guards arrived, holding guns in their hands and shouting loudly, "Don't move, crouch down and put your hands on your head." The instant look on his face was pure, it couldn't be purer. The guards questioned one by one, but most of them only heard the explosion and saw nothing. Soon, it was Chu Yao's turn. I was walking on the street, and a person suddenly exploded, almost in me. I was scared to death. She patted her chest, panting heavily, as if terrified. Rabbit. Such a sudden explosion. The heavenly guards were a little suspicious, but seeing the other party look weak, he seemed unable to cause trouble. Are there anyone else around him? What was he holding in his hand? Oh, yes, there seemed to be 3 or 4 of them. Chu Yao hesitated for a moment, as if thinking, and then described the appearances of those people to the guards. She didn't go into too much detail so as not to embarrass them. The suspicious person. I understand. Let's go. Wait a minute. What are you holding in your hand? Hearing that, Chu Yao showed the spruce stone in his hand. I picked it up in mine. It looks very good. I want to keep it. Use it as decoration for the house. If the adults want it, I'll leave it to them. Originally, the girl thought that Chu Yao had the Yuanying stone, but found it was just a broken stone, so he frowned and waved his hand. Okay, it's none of your business. Let's go. The remaining remote cabin somewhere in the hospital, there was a tall and muscular man sitting in the middle, with a slanted scar on his face, which made him look very strange. It was fierce. The guests surrounding Chu Yao were all sitting around him just now. Brother Hu, I'm not wrong. The lumen almost made my ears ring, and in a blink of an eye, half the dude's body flew away. Many people followed and nodded. The man called Brother Hu had a gloomy face, as if he was thinking about something, which made others even more uncomfortable. Brother Hu, if you want me to say that these barbarians with flying swords are useless, that man is a useless coward. What else did I do? I asked my brother to catch a woman plays, but I haven't seen him do anything. What a trick. You know of art. Brother Hu frowned, the stars on his face and eyebrows knitted together, and then pounced the person who spoke. Let me ask you, what have you done on that one talking about? It seems to be about fairies, about sects. Their flying swords look like in ancient Romas. I really don't understand. Some men. Brother Hu muttered with his eyes. Then let me before. Stare the hell out of him. Brother Hu stood up, paced back and forth in the narrow room, then laughed out loud, and voice got louder and louder, making guests afraid to refuse to speak. It's over, it's over. Brother Hu is crazy, crazy. Brother Hu laughed and scolded, and his not hit anyone. Speaking politely, he said that Brother Hu was here, remember not to use violence. Several dancers looked at each other, not knowing what the boss wants. Brother Hu, my name is Lao Zhang, just a rough person. You let me fight, but I don't know what to say if you ask someone. I also don't know how many balls a woman has. Hands in case the brother said the wrong thing, I will throw them all out. You don't believe me when I say you're stupid. Brother Hu had a look of disgust on his face. If she really had to scheme, would you still come to me? Did she just shoot the dude? Was it about some bird just staring you? The guy's surname Zhang realized immediately, and he praised the boss a little more. I suspected the boss, he just understands better than us. Just ask me when you're in mine. Don't be too loud. Yes, Brother Hu, if you know it, do you want to come? Then find out where she lives. Tell me back. I'll go there myself. As for the flying sword, Brother Hu, is it possible to do this? Brother Hu didn't. He only waved his hand for everyone to disperse and return to their homes. Soon, the house was empty, leaving only him. He stared at the moon's starry sky outside the window and sank into deep memories. I became popular in StarCraft. Chapter 13, Little Dang. Brother Hu, originally named Qian Hu, was born on a distant planet in Lonely, a paradise outside world. His family was fishermen, so he was not considered rich. There was almost no food and clothing. At the age of 12, the family's ancestral home was divided into new districts and was forcibly expropriated. His parents refused, and they were all poisoned by the heavenly sect leader and the person in charge of his mission. He endured for years and killed an entire family of officials to take revenge. In the end, he became a slave. Qian Hu had a notebook for a few years, but he yearned for the Immortals in movies. Even in those movies and TV series, Immortals often played as enemies or barbarians. He was still full of imagination about this superhuman power because he had seen it with his own eyes. Back then, when he was a child, he went fishing with his grandfather, but he happened to encounter a storm. When the two of them lost hope, a beam of light pierced through the sea. When they came to their senses, the ship had already moved out of that area of the sea. His grandfather didn't see it, but he saw it with his own eyes. There was clearly a man holding a sword in glowing light, like a god or fairy with terrifying aura. He told his grandfather about it, but his grandfather told him not to tell anyone else. Instead, he vowed 3 times to the place where the sea met the sky. Since then, the goodness of Immortals was deeply ingrained in his heart, and it had remained so to the present. He believed that it might be his destiny. Then it was, and now you talk about you. Let me say something. By you age on side, he listened to Chu Yao's exciting story. The situation was urgent back then, and I didn't hear much about it. Sister, you don't know how fierce the people are, and they came up to me screaming. And my heart almost jumped out of shock. You pulled out the house and ate them, didn't you? And I thanked the gods. Then when you threw the spruce stone, no one would lose, right? It shouldn't be. I was on a journey, but I didn't expect the piece of middle-grade spruce stone to explode. A hole in the ground. I didn't expect it to be so useful. In short, you have to be careful in the future. After this incident, not only having guardians, but some miners may be watching you. Bai Yujin also knew that if she encountered this situation, it was not very good. And after a reminder, I changed the subject. What are you going to do with this spruce stone? Insurance. Bai Yujin nodded. It's fine. It seems that the quality should be low, level 1 spruce stone. Although it may not be powerful. Your previous fragments after the explosion, but it should be enough for self-defense. Yes, we threw away, that is, cut it in small pieces wherever you, and if the meaning to use, if anyone asks, just say that it's a talisman. Okay, I will do it. You should be calm during this period, don't worry, and focus on your training first. I understand. Sister, what is your plan? There's only one step left. Thanks to you, I was able to get a new exercise from my fusion method. In terms of talent, I am not as good as yet. Chu Yao has already told us to the exercise, and the two are the same bloodline, so you should be able to understand it soon. When she covers the cultivation as well, the success rate of the state will be much higher. Hey, I just had the intention back then, and I didn't expect it to be so successful. Once our cultivation base recovers some get map, we will kill this mine and do these little mortal cultivators a little talk. Don't be too hasty on trying to figure it out. Alright, have you got to remember this exercise? Yuanying Elder is called Mingyi, simple and easy to understand. It's late. I'll go back first. Sister, you should go back earlier. Chu Yao wanted to call it Shu, but somehow it seemed like a stupid name. Go, beware of traffic jams. Curfew has long been over. Chu Yao opened the door and saw many lights on the street. It was slightly off patrolling the streets with flashlights. Due to the change of the night, the number of patrols also increased a lot. Chu Yao returned to her residence cautiously without any danger. There was nothing to say all night. Early next morning, Chu Yao followed the team as usual and went to mine with the original. It was still the same group as the steam monkey. She started practicing while digging. Although the result was not good, she couldn't sit on the ground and rest all day, which was too eye-catching. The speed was also very slow. According to Chu Yao's estimate, it would take at least half a year to completely reach first level of Chu refining. There was still half a year to dig mine. Even if you're some spirit beast, you can't summon like this. If a mana is less than the first level of Chu refining, it is enough to use a few small spells. If you want to escape, it is safe to reach Chu refining level. It is dangerous. Take your time. The ability to practice is better than not practicing. In her free time, she got a lot of information about the mine from Steam Monkey. Where there are people, there must be an organization. You have to understand this fact, Mr. Chu. So I won't say much. Now, in this information mine, except for those forces, the high-ranking officials have 3 forces in total. One is called Brother Hu, Kian Hu, who has a group of subordinates who commit serious crimes. They are like small mercenaries and do collection work. He said that they are all warriors, and no one dares to provoke. The second one is Old Mo. He has been in this mine longer than me. He said that he not only has contact with some officials, but also have a way outside. No one in the mine dares to underestimate him. Moreover, it is rumored that he did not come to commit a crime, but because he provoked those who should not enter. Provoke them to avoid disaster. The third group is the Shamdang. The Shamdang has the largest number of members, and its leaders are all barbarians captured from outside territory. They unite to help each other, and they also attract many heavenly beings who are not barbarians. In this shelter, less than half of the members of the Shamdang. It should be these 3 people passing by. If you want to survive in the mine safely, you can go Brother Hu if you have time, and join the Shamdang. If you can't do it, the rest depends on your ability. Chu Yao is a person who relies on his own abilities. Brother Hu and the Shamdang form a private group, and the officials don't care. They don't care about it. Why do a group of people who are paid to have to compete with these people? As long as they didn't run away, handle over mines according to quantity, and didn't have bad luck, these officials would turn a blind eye. Chu Yao knew this well. It seemed that he'd done assisting yesterday was charged for doing things. It wasn't that they had to cause trouble for Chu Yao, but it would better be careful. Chu Yao didn't cause trouble, but she was not afraid of it. I don't care about this kind of thing. But if someone really believed her, I wouldn't mind having them drink the pot. In the blink of an eye, a week passed. Chu Yao was still living in peace, and no one would provoke her anymore. She went to the mine to practice every day, and occasionally used Steam Monkey to change her food to improve her diet. The miners never had days off, and if they wanted to move, they could freely wait for the rest of the night. After eating, Chu Yao took a sit up. After getting 3 spruce stones, she still remembered the agreement with Old Momo, and she calculated the time was almost up. So she went to get mapped so that she could plan for the next step. This time, she was very careful, and no one was following her. Old Momo's door, he unexpectedly saw a familiar figure. This figure had just come out the door. There was something bulging in his arm. And when he saw Chu Yao, he also showed surprise. Seeing Chu, this person is Yun, that's Elder Lu, who was born in Fengyang and Sington's and has a charming figure. Seeing Lu, I didn't expect to meet you here. Chu Yao smiled and held her hand. Sister, let me meet an acquaintance in this deserted place. How are you? Is Elder by here? Lu Yun was particularly eager, and she wanted to hold Chu Yao's arm when she came in, quietly looking away. I don't know, I have been doing mine day and now recently. My hands hurt, and I have lost a lot of weight, but... Sister, you look so good. What occasion? Chu Yao skillfully rolled his eyes, and did not reveal much of his identity. What Elder Lu did with the spaceship was still fresh in his mind. This woman looked beautiful, but in fact she had a poisoned heart. Chu Yao could not help but be careless. I have no more chance. I'm a human being now. I just live in this mine. I joined a nonsense gang, and I do not waste food on weekdays. Lu Yun raised his hand and pulled her hair, not showing the slightest satisfaction that Chu Yao was avoiding herself. My sister must have heard about Shamdang. I have been in the gang for a while. If you have any ideas, I can help you. As for alone. Thank you, sister. But I do not know where to take refuge. If I figure out one day, I will go with my sister. This Lu Yun was very enthusiastic, but unexpectedly was to call farewell. Chu Yao's eyes were clearly filled with disappointment. Then, she gritted her teeth as she had made up her mind. She quietly pulled Chu Yao out the side of the room and said in a low voice, Sister, for the sake of you and me, I will give you a confession. What do you think of this matter? She pointed to the slave ring on her neck. I would rather be a ghost on the line for the slave in Samon. Chu Yao didn't know what she meant. He thought for a moment, and replied to her with previously learned proverb, that's right. If we didn't have this ring, we will be slaves wherever we go in the future. You are now the elders of the sect. How carefree we used to be. How can we be subject to others? For a long time, your chosen sect, no more. You said it yourself. Of course, Chu Yao didn't say it clearly. In the Shamdang, someone had reserved to have her not the ring. Lu Yun pondered for a long time, and finally approached Chu Yao's ear and sent out a grenade. Really? Chu Yao showed surprise, but his eyes were filled with doubt. Oh yeah, in this nation mine, the real girls and officials, not highness and our towers, but slaves around our necks. If we really understand one day, we will even be caught. If we want to sigh, Chu Yao's face changed a few times, thinking about Lu Yun's words in her heart, and replied, Sister, please give me a few listening, I will answer you. After saying that, Chu Yao bid farewell to her and walked quietly to Old Momo's shop. Lu Yun looked Chu Yao back, her eyes calm. And she didn't know what she was thinking. I became popular in StarCraft. Chapter 14 Cooperation. This Liu must have a ghost. Chu Yao didn't believe the elder Liu would be so kind. And that man was too much. The two of them were acquaintances who were rude, and raping or stealing. Just don't know where she told the information to her gang. Aren't you afraid that these things would be exposed? Whether she was sure that I would fall in love with her or not, it didn't matter if these things got out. No matter how possible it was, no not mine, but hers. Chu Yao knew for an instant. See a man would have helped her. But the news about her not the ring, whether it was true or not, had to wait for further confirmation. Tell your sister about the later and listen to her analysis. Chu Yao expressed her thoughts and he had old man shot this time. Old man mowed into nonsense, and he handed Chu Yao a few rolls of white paper. Here, that we want. Here. Chu Yao's expression was even more complicated than when she met Liu just now. What's the matter, little girl? Don't you want to know what Liu are? This. 2 cigarettes. Chu Yao's brain was a little short of oxygen, and his eyes were dizzy. That's right, you've served a line, and I'll only try to print fee. Old Mo showed a puzzled look in his eyes. No wonder Chu Yao and Feng Yinsa were happy to such a rare thing. A map covering a continent was enough to sell spruce stones at a far high price, let alone the entire world. The planetary maps in front of me were all calculated by artificial satellites, which were extremely accurate and could be used by everyone. It can be said they were beneficial to all people. What is the internet? The internet has everything in it. Take your time, girl, you still have a lot to learn. Old Mo patted Chu Yao on the shoulder. Once again, the poor Chu Yao felt the explosion of technology shrinking to these savages after the incident on the spacecraft. Then, she met her fighting spirit again. Master, can you do mad access to the internet? You're not allowed to use mobile phones now, and it would be useless if I teach you. Old Mo waved his hand. Is there anything else you want to buy? If not, let's go. I will be closed tomorrow. Why is it closed? Chu Yao was stunned. There was a little lie wanted to make trouble, sigh, and Old Man naturally wanted to avoid it. Old Man Mo said with a shake of his head, wait a minute, what is it, mobile phone? Chu Yao asked Old Man Mo again in 100,000 lifetimes, which made him annoyed and he kicked him away with a broom. She had also learned a lot of basic knowledge about heaven and man's civilizations, and her previous roles have been reduced time and time again. From buying spaceship to playing the internet, from surfing the internet buying mobile phone, Chu Yao finally understood what Dale had used the little beast before, and was filled with momentary yearning for technology. A small thing the size of a palm, as long as it could access the internet, it could send messages to people thousands of miles away, buy things, and look maps. It sounded much better than the charm of translating voice symbols for thousands of miles. Awesome, thinking of being trapped in his mind and unable to do anything, was like that. Chu Yao's escape from prison also became stronger. When the time comes, I must go on to my sister. While she was thinking, a tall, strong man slowly walked over from the other side, with rather trouble in his face. Chu Yao already knew that this person was waiting for her, and quickly remembered that he was one of the few people surrounding her that day. But seeing that the other person came alone and he didn't seem to have any malicious intentions, she didn't hide, Mr. Chu. The big man stammered, as if he was not used to polite words. My family, Brother Hu, welcomes you. I hope you see my face. Ah. First is Sham Yang, and then Brother Hu. Coupled with Old Mamo said, the mind had been sounding unsettled recently. What is your Brother Hu looking for? I don't know. He just wanted to see you, and he was polite. Beans to all. See me? When you was killed by me with this revenge. Unlike this case, you don't have to leave words out like this. Or do you like technology? The hand grenade in my hand, I want to make a deal. Or is Yi trying to lure me into the gang? Chu Yao bowed his head and thought and remained silent. Zhang Dahan, who was waiting inside, was anxious. Brother Hu said if you would agree, he'll continue himself. Is he so sincere? Chu Yao thought about it in vain, so she threw her sleeves and stood thinking about it. It was better to talk with these straightforward elder brothers than to deal with Liu, who had a cute belly and sword. However, she still had 3 spruce stones in her hands, so she still had somehow to protect herself. So, let's listen. Okay, I'll go with you. Zhang Dahan was also relieved when he heard this, and hurriedly brought Chu Yao over. On the way, Chu Yao talked to Zhang Dahan one moment, and the more they talked, the stranger he felt. How could he be done, a scheming, white-faced boy, mixing with these straightforward elders? Soon, Chu Yao followed Zhang Dahan to Brother Hu's residence. When the door closed, there were only 2 of them in the room. Little Tian Hu met a fairy. A 7-foot tall man was far on his face with kneeling around without saying a word, but he saw Chu Yao. Chu Yao was stunned when he saw his expression. She thought she was going to bite herself, but fortunately she was focused enough. So she still held the spruce stone in her hand and did not throw it away. Don't rush, Aunt, get out first. Chu Yao patted him on the shoulder. I heard that there are immortals in the world. Those and reckons only see the head but not the tail. Today, I am looking up for me the fairy, and I, Tian Hu, will go without regret. Tian Hu stood slowly, with respect and eagerness in his eyes. Fairy, please. Chu Yao sat down with him in daze. Tian Hu even made hot tea and boiled Chu Yao. She picked up the teacup and gestured, but didn't actually drink it, and asked, Brother Hu can see me, didn't you just come to the moment to drink tea? Tian Hu picked up the cup and took a sip into his mouth. The tea was like drinking. Those of you from the Immortal family, although you have lived as slaves for many years, you often seek immortality in the Taoism, but you have never seen the true immortal side. Only when you saw the fairy today do you know what the true immortal posture is. Are you like this? Are you sure I remember the fairy family? Fairy, stop joking. I'll lift fire with my hand and kill someone in an instant. I, Tian Hu, have been working in the mine for many years. I have never seen anyone with such ability. Although Li Dun has some knowledge, in the hands of the fairy he is like a chicken and dog, weak, and he is just a pretender. Fortunately, I gave him the tea for 5 days. Chu Yao did not speak. Seeing that the tea was fine, she took a sip without showing any expression. There must be a reason for a fairy to live here. We are all down from people. I do not care about tigers, but it is impossible to say that my women need to survive, right? Finally, it has reached a point. I'm a weak woman, so I can only really want to. Chu Yao did not answer directly and continued to bring tea. The fairy still did not trust me, so what? I'll go the fairy. Do you know when it is half a year later? I do not know. Chu Yao was a little surprised. Today is March 6th. Half a year later, September 15th is personnel transfer day. The Nation Mine transferred personnel. Since the only company has a plan, it must be more cautious. Why would someone take advantage of it? 108 secrets will always have secrets. Accordingly, from clues I have, after Fatty Zo left, the candidate replacing him has not been decided, and they'll definitely be vacuumed for 2 to 3 days. This news is reliable. It is definitely true. Chu Yao has a suspicious look. After pondering for a moment, she understood in her heart. So, you imagine my explosion method and wanted to cooperate with me, or do you want me to help you solve pain in your neck? Question. Fairies have sharp eyes, so I won't talk nonsense. As long as the fairy says, who's he, my life is yours. Don't be in a rush to lie. Let me explain clearly. The method cannot control power. Even when making explode slavery, it does not guarantee the effect will still be there. Never mind. I have my own way. Now, I therefore ask fairy permission. Chu Yao weighed the pros and cons in his heart over and over again, and then made his request. If I want to stay in mine for a long time, is there a way to prevent you from being discovered? Stay in mine longer. Keanu was stunned for a moment, and did not ask Chu Yao what he wanted to do. After hesitating for a moment, he said, although some things are troublesome, it is not impossible. The number 1 mine is closed for a whole year, and generally. The old man is gone, and you can stay for a long time. If the fairy really wants to do this, I will work here, and I will give you an answer in a few days. Then what if there are 2 of them? Send food and water regularly. Then. Keanu frowned, as he had made a firm decision, and he replied, okay, no problem. His fairy sighed. Chu Yao naturally understood what he meant. With a slap on his left hand, a 3-inch small stone instantly flew out. Keanu only felt a flash in front of his eyes, and suddenly there was a loud noise in the room. Bang. Not far from the windowsill, there was a pot of green pelts the size of a person's head, which instantly turned into ashes flying under the explosion. What's going on? The fence leader outside the door was shocked. Open the door and rush in. Don't make a noise. What are you panicking about? Keanu snorted, and then turned to Chu Yao. In half a year, my magic power will have doubled. Chu Yao said casually, looking like a master. Good, good, good. Keanu was overjoyed and said 3 good words in a row. In this way, why worry about big things? The fairy will go back and wait for a few more days, and I will tell you as soon as I have news. Chu Yao couldn't help but smile when he heard Keanu's nonsense tone. She replied with a smile, since that's the case, I'll wait for Keanu's good news. I became popular in StarCraft. Chapter 15 Retreat. Although the 2 had clearly achieved cooperation, Chu Yao believed half of what Keanu said what he knew, but it didn't hurt much. Keanu wanted Chu Yao's fighting power, and Chu Yao wanted Keanu's place where he could meditate and cultivate, and they could use each other to get what they wanted. No one could guess what would happen in the second half of the year, but disaster was inevitable. Chu Yao rejected Zhang Dahan's escort and insisted by his resistance, and the 2 began to study the world map of the Union Star. Sister, do you think it's possible for a brought a map? Bai Yu Jian was shocked by the modern technology of the civilization of heaven and man, and stared at the map for a long time. It was possible, but it was very difficult. Even if the nascent soul monk used the method of rubbing the divine consciousness to travel around Fenian, it would still take decades to map mountains, rivers and seas of this world one by one. That's guaranteed. It's fine. Furthermore, once our level are busy practicing weekdays, happening on works hard to do this. He is a master of a single sect, and he is invincible on the transformation of the gods. Now, on this Union planet, I know how else this world is, and my original identity was a real frog in well. It's fine. Sister, even if we're frogs in well, we're still frogs. The people who are leaders, now that we have jumped out of well, we know worse than others. I hope so. However, I found the book from Old Man Zan earlier. Chu Yao saw 9 learned characters written in the book in sister's hand, Introduction to Geometry for 5th grade of primary school. Yao was puzzled. He has some knowledge of numerical graphical analysis, which was helpful for my formation studies. I heard in the city of heaven and man, this is only what children learn. What kind of high schools and universities do they have? Such as our school and private schools over there, I don't know what their opinions on geometry in the universities. Maybe it has something in common with ancient patterns. Chu Yao already stopped this system from continuing. Just as formation, the 2 turned their minds back to the map. The land and seas of the Union Star are approximately the same size. There are 3 continents in total, and the Bashan Mine is located in the largest continent. To the west and south of the mine are vast wastelands. To the north are the mountains, and to the north is the snow-covered polar region. Flowing down from the high mountains to the north, a long river flows to the east. Along the river in the east, numerous new cities and sporadic cities are connected to 4 island groups until the river flows into the sea. Small towns have various names, and the largest city is in Haikou called Tianai City. These small cities are all under the jurisdiction of Tianai City, collectively known as Tianai District. As Bashan Mine is also part of the Tianai region. If Chu Yao learned to drop a line, I would rest should be written. Connect that to the Union Star Tianai area Shao Yuching Bashan Mine. See how Yuching doesn't need to remember. The 2 talked for a long time, and there was a huge conflict over this route. Little sister, you're usually so smart. Why are you so confused? If you enter the map of an area by means of heaven and man, you can easily be found by any technology. Entering the mountain is death. End. Sister, the great sacred is in the city, not to mention we didn't contact heaven and humans. When we were able to buy a mobile phone. I mean learning technology. Whether they go north or east. The 2 argued for a while, but finally agreed. Go north first and then go east. The route had been set. Chu Yao carefully put away the map and went to the mine the next day. Waiting for news from Keanu while digging. She confirmed many things to his steam monkey. For example, the fact that Keanu said was true, and most people knew it, but it was not as accurate as they Keanu said. Sister Chu, I have heard of someone in the Shaman gang who could break the slave ring and the news. The rumors got worse and worse. He said that someone from our slave force rebel. Rebellion from the officials. Do you know about this? I don't know. If there's no surname really knows, I don't know how big the house would be. This must be caused by Lunar and some forces. She's the agent. But what use would it be? Anyway, Sister Chu, be careful. Everyone in this mine is in danger, and they don't want to catch fire. A storm is coming. Naturally, Chu Yao won't interfere with these things. Our main task now is to train and cultivate. But she didn't expect fire to come so fast. First, many people protested against the food shortage in the cafeteria, and they were suppressed by the officials. Then, there were rumors that some people let their crowd make trouble in the cafeteria, and they were directly captured by Fatty Zo, killing many people. On the second day, these were Lily walking beside Fatty Zo. The slave ring in his neck had already been taken off, and he had changed into an unnecessary clothes for proud look on his face. How did I go ring? What the hell? Seeing Yuanying showing up in shelter with two heavenly guardians, Chu Yao finally understood what she was planning. Spread rumors first, and then calm the chaos. This action naturally gained Fatty Zoe's trust and turned her from a slave to master. This Yuanying was willing to sacrifice her own face to raise the tiger, but she was also a character. This made Chu Yao even more wary of Elder Lu. Chu Yao rejected her face that day. Who knew this person would hold a grudge? If you can hide and walk, just hide and walk. Now Yuanying had become a celebrity in Fatty Zoe's eyes. It was not wise to provoke him. After worrying for a few days, the news finally came from Keanu. After meeting her elder sister, Chu Yao slipped at the end of the shaft while the mine in the dark. The large hole was blocked by wooden boards and seals, making the tunnel even creepier in the dark. The two carefully turned over the surrounding objects and headed deeper. Chu Yao prepared early, took out a flashlight from her clothes, and slipped around the while late. Where did you get it? Stole it. I also snatched a watch from my elder sister Uzi. Look, it's so beautiful. Do you want to ride one? Okay. I don't want to wear it anymore. Let's go. Without word for a moment, in the dark tunnel. Only footsteps and breathing of the two could be heard. The deeper you went, the more human and steady the air became, and occasionally you could hear the sound of water drops hitting the rocks above. After walking for less than 10 minutes, the two were blocked. The main road was blocked by a pile of rocks and wooden blocks, and it seemed impossible to clear it with the strength of just two people. It seemed that there was a reason for the closure. There must have been a landslide accident before. Seeing his sister violently knock on rock. I think the spruce stone can be used to explode. Chu Yao rolled up her sleeves and was about to rush over. Stop. You want this place to collapse. There should be a branch road nearby. Let's change roads. The mingling dew the two of them were cultivating now had been improved both in the dew, and the condition for cultivating in the dew one was the need for a cloudy environment. If you want to find a sufficient amount of yin chi, the deeper you dig, the better. This is why they went deep. Chu Yao and her sister quickly found a winding branch road to ride up the main road and walked in the depths of the formation. Sister, the purity of the energy here is very high. We must have found the right one. Although it's not as good as our sect's Yin Chi Valley. But that's enough. Bai Yujin also had a happy look on his face. This is collapsed mine. How can we become able to set Cellulant? Alas, when I mentioned sect, I thought of my again. I don't know if Sealing is doing well. She shouldn't have been killed by the gods. Someone took it. Your spirit snake has not been cultivated to transform, so it mustn't be able to hold on my manuscript. Seeing that she was in good mood, Bai Yue couldn't help but joke. Oh, right, when I mentioned this, I have been thinking about this for a long time. How to remove the slave ring? Chu Yao whispered in his elder sister's face. If she hadn't told me, I would have forgotten about it. She, a little girl, had a lot of ideas. So, that moved to having a man and nothing special. The two of them sat and walked forward for a while, and they arrived at the end of the branch. Alright, this place is deep enough. Let's retreat here. It's a pity that there are no big pills. Otherwise, it would save time feeding every day. You know how to eat. You speak directly. Don't forget that we've been at the first level of Chi refining. Since Keanu said that the exchange is real, we will limit half a year and make as much progress as possible. Half a year is not short, but it is not long for cultivators either. Once they cultivate the high level, it takes several years to retreat. Time was running out and every second was precious. Chu Yao sat up with her sister, her eyes slightly closed, and her mind was gradually immersed in cultivation. Bai Yujin had prepared 3 sets of improved small stress arrays in advance to prevent accidents. In this Bashan mine, no cultivators with divine powers have been found, and because they are deep in the abandoned mine, they were not afraid of being discovered. Under the operation of the mingling dew, the yin chi surged in the body like a tide, rushing to the acupuncture points in expanding blood vessels, traveling through the body, sinking into the dantian, and turning into a stream of primal spiritual energy. Chu Yao was surprised to find that after passing the initial threshold, mingling dew's cultivation had become more and more smooth, and speed was astonishing. If you maintain the speed, you reach first level of chi refining in less than half a year, and it may even go higher. I don't know if it was because of mingling dew's special technique or because the heavenly gods on previous spaceship accidentally helped with the transformation of the body. Time passed. I became popular in StarCraft. Chapter 16 Breakout. The cultivation was timeless, and half a year was gone. The mine was still as calm as ever. Everything had been going on as usual since the riot half a year ago. Old Mamo was still the open door, and Keanu was still secretly threatened by his time. Although Yuanying relied on the background as the wife of Heaven and Man to do his best, he had not done anything that would provoke the anger of Heaven and Man. If there was only one new thing, it was the legend of ghosts among the miners. According to those who have experienced it, if you walk alone through the abandoned number 1 mine at night, you will hear the sound of a ghost. That throat was insufferable, accompanied by a cold wind that was eerie. Once, learning Heaven went home state, and when he came back, he was seriously ill and had a high fever for 3 days. It was very strange. Since then, number 1 mine had been listed as a forbidden area, and few people had come in. The seasonal change of the Yuanying Star did not seem to be as obvious as that of the Yuanying Star, although it was already September. From the entrance of number 1 mine, a beautiful figure suddenly floated out with a fearless aura, and a gust of wind was blowing. A lavender aura floated beneath this person's feet, and he ran very fast, jumping 3 feet high, which seemed to be fast for work. With a wave of her hand, the large rock near the entrance broke into 2, and debris flew all over the place. I am out of breath. I found the earth ceremony today, and the lazy people were waiting to quickly disperse. This person was Chu Yao, and his current cultivation level was the 3rd level of Chi refining. Before Chu Yao finished speaking, another person appeared behind her and patted her on the back of the head. It was senior sister Bai Yujin. After half a year of hard work, the two of them had reached the 3rd level of Chi refining. Although mingling dew was still in the original skill, they were fundamentally different. For Chu Yao and Bai Yujin, this was equivalent to recultivating, which was not easy. Being able to reach the first small threshold of Chi refining in half a year was partly due to their proud talent, and partly showed that mingling dew is so good. Keep your voice down, I will make you stunned. You will recruit all those of humans, oh no mine, sister. Didn't you listen to that ski monkey? No one dared to come here. The ski monkey was one who brought food the two of them in the past 6 months, and Chu Yao clothed him from time to time. There was a lot of news on the ground. Unfortunately, there was only one person here for a long time, and I'm going to promise there's more. It's really up to you to attack humans. Have you thought of our rules in the cultivation world? Sister, you mean, be a monk? Don't do it, Immortals. No mind, that's the rule of Yuanying, which is normally this thing you saw. I was just playing around. The scheme can say that the person does have cold. Chu Yao smiled playfully. After her cultivation recovered slightly, the cheerful part of her personality returned to the mainstream. This energy is good for us, but for ordinary people, we are afraid to avoid it. With your spirit power, the headache and brain fever will not be severe, otherwise, you will just significantly die. Heart, my race must be different. Speaking of peeling skin, I really want to hang my clothes. I feel though where the set survive. The two of them are still in their beige prison uniforms. Which now looks a little tattered. No way. Thin clothes are good. Heaven and man wouldn't be kind enough to change clothes to save. The two were not far away with a tall and burly figure appeared in front of them. It was Zhang Dahan. I haven't seen him half a year, but his words and sentences are even more beautiful. You two fairies, Lao Zhang have been waiting here for a long time. Brother who came to meet you. Is this your whole plan? That's right. But for the two important points, we still have to learn two fairies. Chu Yao and her sister listened to Keanu's explanation of the entire scope planet Keanu's resonance and walked back to the house. Sister, what do you think? How credible are Keanu's words? As for himself, he shouldn't have lied to us about these things. Bai Yujin combed his hair. I have the impression that Keanu, I can feel that his plans are well coordinated. Even without us, there's a high chance of escaping successfully. He looks like a tiger with a tiger's head, but he's a rough but meticulous person. I don't know how much time he has left. Plan for today. Sister, what do you think? I think in fact, it's safest for us to run directly. But after all, shouting us helps a lot. So let's fight him. Although the two often disagree. But these things are surprisingly consistent. Every faith must be reciprocated, and every age must be reciprocated. The journey of understanding was not only cultivating methods, but also cultivating the mind. Chu Yao was ruthless but not bold. She pretended to forever and break the bridge like Lean, but she was unwilling to do it. Gaining others' trust was a matter of loyalty. She could break the contract and run away, but when she thought about it later, she would have to be feel remorseful. If she really didn't care about the matter, then it didn't matter. Everyone had their own ways, and Chu Yao's way was honesty. What's more, she felt. The press fell on time, Chu Yao wanted to make the fuss fall on time. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye, and the day of falling arrived. The other day, Chu Yao learned from Show the fatties had left. Now the mine chief is the former deputy. The new chief has not yet arrived, and the entire mine is in short-term state of powerlessness. The moon was dark and the wind was strong at night. It was their murder last until though, it's a pity that there's no moon. Chu Yao hurriedly ate and took the opportunity in the middle of the night to go to the designated place. She walked forward in the shadow of the house, her figure uncertain, her feet like a ghost, dodging all the cameras, and she arrived at the chief's courtyard on the west side of the mine. Relying on Makiana who had been there in her memory, Chu Yao arrived at the door with completely harmless. Along the way, there were 3 large characters written on the door panel, Energy Discipation Room. Chu Yao raised his hand and looked at his watch. It was 8:57 PM, wait 3 more minutes, the show was about to start. I don't know if the Celestial Girls are rested for too long recently or they're too nervous. The door of the Energy Discipation Room was not locked at all. Chu Yao walked narrowly, and even stood winding wires fixed on the ground. As the hour hand turned the 9, Chu Yao felt her was pinched, and a fireball instantly burst into flames with his right hand, and the turbulent heat waves stood in the air around the flames. At the third level of Chu Yuanying, you can use many small spells. For example, this fire expelling spell is much more implementable than the explosive spirit stone. Let's go. Chu Yao took 3 steps back, waved her right hand, and the fireball rushed towards several rows of electrical boxes. As soon as the two touched, there was a muffled sound as if something heavy was falling in the water. Then, countless small sparks exploded, causing her hair to fly. Chu Yao hurriedly retreated from the door from time to time. As soon as it flew out, a huge explosion occurred in the energy distribution room, and thick smoke gathered in the small room. There was only one exit until it out, and soon it filled the corridor. At the moment of the explosion, all streetlights in the mine went out. Even the surveillance lights released from the top of the 3 guard towers stopped. The entire mine was instantly enveloped in darkness. What happened? The power went out. The underground power supply room was on fire. They lit up fire extinguisher. All the miners followed the order and returned to their rooms immediately, otherwise, slave girls would react quite quickly. He picked up the loudspeaker and shouted in the shelter, but before he could finish speaking, he was caught by the person who walked in the darkness and slit his throat. There were similar things happening around the mine all the time. Before the electricity went out, people Keanu arranged for gather around, and power outage was called to attack. Gunshots straight out of nowhere, making chaos even more intense. There were endless sounds of fighting and cheers, and fires were still burning from various positions. The mine, which was calm and orderly in the morning, suddenly became living hell. Those who knew the inside story were making plans in an orderly manner, and those who didn't know the inside story were also excited. Some people grabbed guns and shot recklessly, some went straight to the cafeteria to get food, and so on. People fought to the south gate, back east of the front gate, trying to find a way out. Under the superficial alarm, everyone had been suppressed for too long. The entire Bashan mine was like a furnace being roasted on a low flame, about to burst out and burn the furnace and burn to death. And now the opportunity had come. Chu Yao went to the next destination without stopping, occasionally throwing a few fireballs as he walked on the street. The wooden walls were on fire, and some people were having sat to the other side of the road. It was sinister carnival. The entire mine had only 2 power stations, and Chu Yao and his sister were each responsible for one, and his sister was also responsible for the power motor. The power outage was just the first step. As Keanu had said earlier, if people would deal with the remaining guards. The internal strength was easy to deal with, but the external strength was hard to deal with. After the power outage, the transmission towers and wireless networks in the mine would be paralyzed, causing mobile phones and computers to be unable to contact the outside world, but all calls for help. But there was another exception. In this case, each executive Valley company who was responsible for the mining area would be equipped with a separate satellite phone. The operation of this phone was based on an independent system, which was different from the general communication method. Directly request for reinforcements to the company's headquarters in Tianai City via an artificial satellite in the orbit of the planet. Chu Yao listened to the general idea. Although she didn't understand the working principle of the satellite phone, she knew what to do. Cut off the head, shoot people first, shoot the horses, cast the banders first, and cast the king first. Now that was so with them, the satellite phone could be handed over to the assistant who was still here. To avoid accidents, Keanu said that he would do it himself, but after Chu Yao and his sister then they felt that it would be better to have support of the mission for me just to be safe. Chu Yao and her elder sister met each other on the way, not at each other, and went straight to where Keanu was. The two walked side by side amidst thick flames and smoke, and arrived at just through the lane and blink of an eye. The elder sister had played some tricks on Keanu in advance, so the two of them hurried at him at the leading the basement. Keanu and his few companions were surrounding them nervously, their faces full of worry. The guns in their hands were out of bullets, but they could do nothing about the iron door in front of them. Seeing the two of them arrive, Keanu finally breathed a sigh of relief, thinking they might be turned forward for the matter. But half a breath was blocked by a voice from inside the door. "You damn slave, wait a moment. The company's security team, be here. You guys, mobile phone users, please browse and read. It is more convenient to read at your palm. I became popular in StarCraft. Chapter 17 Betrayal. Feeling the urgency, get out of the way." Chu Yao shouted quickly, and many people present hurriedly dodged, and then looked at her disappear in front of them with faces full of disbelief. But using the wall-piercing technique, in the next second, Chu Yao appeared in basement. The deputy director was also shocked, and the phone in his hand had not been put down, and Chu Yao was facing a huge fireball. All the people in the machinery were burned to ashes. Seeing this, she followed suit, Bai Yue followed closely. The two stayed for a few seconds, and opened the locked iron door through the switch next to the door. Keanu's expression was a little dignified, and he asked Chu Yao, "Fairy, that person, I burned in the ashes, how is it? Do you have time? We may be a step behind. I was not careless about rebels in the basement here." Chu Yao and her sister looked at each other and asked, "What to do next?" "We can't bet that you can ask for help, and we dare not bet. Now we can go out immediately." It was still the original plan. Go to the westernmost garage. There should be a few traffic cars parked there. Where you can stay will not depend on Gospel. Keanu took out a small white piece of his clothes and forced it in his neck. As soon as the slave ring was pasted, the contact surface between two shone brightly and white smoke rose. He gritted his teeth and frowned. It hurt when he thought about it, but he still endured it. A few seconds later, the new ring was melted by small white pieces and a gap appeared. Keanu grabbed both ends and snapped hard, and the new ring fell off. Several other party members followed behind, and soon all slave rings around their necks were taken off. This was Chu Yao seeing the numerous burn marks on their necks. Processing saw the lines melting. Keanu did not explain much. Time was almost up. He turned and left off processing the slave rings. Chu Yao and his sister followed closely behind. The mine was still in chaos. The fire was getting more and more intense, and there were fierce fighting sounds everywhere. Keanu and the others grabbed a few more guns, and they quickly arrived at the garage. Several people smashed the lock of the shutter door with busts of the guns, and then lifted it up at the same time. And 4 good-looking delivery cars were parked in the warehouse. The surrounding people who were still fighting enthusiastically saw these cars, their eyes lit up instantly, and they rushed to the cars frantically. "Brother Hu, bring a car. Brother Hu, Champion, give him the car, and we will sell things in the future. The cars here, we can escape, Champion condemned them all." This group of people were talking nonsense, with the tip of a rifle in their hands, they fired. As soon as they fired, the bullets rained down mercilessly. The crowd howled in pain, and blood and cries cooked around for a moment. There was nothing but hell on earth. It wasn't that Keanu was ruthless. Everyone wanted to escape, but there were only 4 cars. If someone got in the car, someone must have been abandoned. The group could barely fill the car, and Zhang Dahan got in the car and walked separately. Keanu didn't anything wrong, but kept 2 cars, not only for his own protection, but also for the way out of others. He took out the key he had prepared, shifted gears and started off softly, held the steering wheel tightly, and stepped on the accelerator to the fullest. The shooting just now worked, and the people in the way moved out one by one. Otherwise, before they could grab the car, there were more people, and in the end, no one could get out of the traffic jam. The 2 cars behind were also quickly grabbed by others, and they followed closely behind. The 3 cars formed a convoy, speeding towards the exit of the road like black lightning. I can't escape, and she didn't want to stay either. This is the one who was squeezed out. His eyes were red for a moment. His eyes were about to explode. He picked up the gun, fell to the side of the road, and shot fiercely at the convoy. The last car couldn't dodge in time, and his eyes were burned out. The ear-piercing sound of the brakes was like the screams of a trapped beast. Finally, the large car had trouble balancing as it slid and rolled around. With sparks, there were still very few people who wanted to squeeze in their car. The swarm of locusts, like a swarm of locusts looking for food and eating grass, pushed each other, cursed, and squeezed each other. In the noisy crowd, someone's gun in hand flew out, probably hitting the oil tank, and the overturned traffic truck exploded instantly. The smoke was their final funeral. Keanu's body was tense. He didn't dare relax his grip. He turned the steering wheel violently from time to time. Avoid the line of gunfire and crowds, he wasn't afraid of hitting people, but that would affect the speed of the car. Soon, a mine door appeared in front of him. The door had been smashed open by slaves, and everyone in the car breathed a sigh of relief. Chu Yao and Mei Yujin didn't speak. They were cultivating themselves. Although their spiritual senses were not yet available, their 5 senses were much sharper than ordinary people. Since they had rushed out of the basement until now, she had often heard a distant buzzing sound, which felt uneasy. But now, the sound had gradually increased. From mosquitoes, it had been a muffled roar of thunder. Chu Yao poked his head out the window and saw a few stars that seemed to be brightening in the distance high. The stars were getting brighter as time passed. The technical creations behind them finally revealed their secrets at night. These creations had spoon-shaped tail fins, and flying paddles above them spun like wind, like a terrifying black dragon roaring on the sky. The two Chu Yao didn't need to be reminded. Everyone could feel the danger of these black dragons. What, Chu Yao shouted. Her voice rang out, the flying paddle flapped, and the sound was so loud that her ears hurt, and she temporarily forgot that she could make a sound. The mechanical arm stood upright. Keanu shouted, stepping on the accelerator all the way, his face was very ugly. This was a scene he didn't want to see happen. The helicopter team must be reinforcements from the early company's headquarters. He was driving very fast, and the minefield behind him was getting smaller and smaller, and soon it became a bright spot in many people's eyes. But he knew in his heart that this was only temporary. No matter how fast the car was running, it could not be faster than the helicopter. The next car also reacted, including Zhang Dahan's 2 cars, which immediately changed direction, and 3 cars darted out in 3 different directions, rolling in dust. The separated life is still glimmering, and there are only dead ends in the same industry. 1, 2, 3. Chu Yao looked at the stars in the sky, and there should be a total of 9 helicopters. At this time, the 3 helicopters are separated, and one of the stars was within right on rider, heading straight for them. She didn't expect the helicopter to be driving so fast. The other party was moving away from the car at a speed visible to the naked eye, and she could see clearly what the stuff was. It is satellite hanging above the helicopter, the plane, and now the satellite is coming. Time towards the vehicle with other people, the lights within a few meters of bright white. You have no way to escape. Stop now, stop now. Warning horn sounded continuously from above, mixed with the sound of propellers, making everyone in the car feel breathless. The second warning, stop immediately, stop immediately. If you didn't listen to the instructions after 3 times, you'll open fire. They were quite reasonable, but they didn't open fire directly. Chu Yao recognized the voice. The transmission this time. However, he ignored us. Maybe he was reluctant to part with the star. Keanu replied loudly, still shouting, Fairy, use every means you can. We're desperate. Sister, this helicopter is a human being. Chu Yao slowly turned her head, revealing a weird smile. I saw it just now. Why are you hesitating to shoot it down? The elder sister was a little puzzled, but when she saw her younger sister's expression, her heart skipped a beat. The third warning, stop immediately, stop immediately. Bai Yuten's vision blurred, and Chu Yao's original seat was instantly empty. Only a shadow could be seen in the window, heading straight for the aircraft overhead. I can't stand you. Bai Yuten was fierce, but he immediately reacted. Her movements were not slower than Chu Yao's, and she rushed straight in the middle where the helicopter was. The two people, one on the left and the other on the right, grasped the outer handle and stepped on the cabin. The hunting men curled their long hair and fluttered in the air. Munson and Yuanying Elder couldn't fly without flight equipment, but it didn't mean they couldn't fly. Gliding through the air for a short period of time at high speed, or using a levitation spell to float in the air, were all possible methods. What the two were doing now was to cast a levitation spell on themselves and use it with all their might, allowing them to quickly reach mid-air as they were coming up from the ground. The cabin doors were locked from the inside and couldn't be opened easily. The two looked at each other through the glass, but they thought they would go together again. Spiritual lights burst out on both sides of the plane, and figures of the two people disappeared into thin air, leaving only tattered prison uniforms and slave rings fluttering in the wind. The outsiders, their bodies seemed to have disappeared from the world, but the two pilots in the cabin knew otherwise. What happened next shattered the two men's worldview. After a burst of light, the two women turned into two snakes, one black and purple, and the other blue and white. The snake character sprayed on the half-open window, and they crept in with a whoosh. Two snakes wrapped around the necks of the two people in the cabin instantly. The pilot was restrained and unable to move, almost collapsing. In the next second, the two snakes returned to their original form, turning into two naked, beautiful figures with auras surrounding the rival with all their might. The smooth-skinned uniforms of the driver made a cracking sound as they were tightly bound. Their legs were tightly wrapped around their waists to control their movements, and their hands were strangled around their necks, making them almost suffocate and enter coma. Such a beautiful scene was temptation for a woman, and he couldn't wait to take off his clothes and do it. However, the two drivers were unlucky this time, and they didn't even have time to see if it would be a woman, because they were about to suffocate to death. Yao, it was about to fall. Seeing that she was in a hurry, Bai Yue called Chu Yao's nickname. Got it, got it. Chu Yao's eyes changed trustily, and she raised her hand to pin the driver's head, find the soul. I became popular in StarCraft. Chapter 18 Curtains. Finding the soul is a rather vicious spell. Because it would cause great damage to the caster's soul. This technique was generally only used by high-level and low-level monks. It could fool people, drive them crazy, harm their minds, and even kill them. Chu Yao had never used it before, but now that the situation forced it, it was impossible to use it. A large number of memories were still pouring into the driver's mind, which was too much for Chu Yao, who only had third-level profound energy. It was impossible for her to absorb them all. It would take a long time, and her cultivation masons brittle processes could not support it. At this moment, the remaining information could only be discarded. Only the information about helicopter flying could be discarded. In flow to the large and disparate amount of information, Chu Yao finally found his eyepiece and recorded it in his mind okay. The spinning wheel, she felt that there were many more things in her memory, that is, the experience and skills of flying helicopters. She unbuckled the driver's seatbelt and threw him in the back of the cabin. After foaming the mouth, convulsing and unconscious, she fastened her seatbelt, brought her helmet, adjusted the position of the headphones. The compass was still booming normally, and the instrument panel of the engine rotor system was overloaded and risked of breaking. Countless messages flashed through his mind, and Chu Yao had now become professional. A helicopter pilot, the voice in his brain unconsciously ordered his hands and feet to move, stepping on the pedals with both feet, collecting total distance with his left hand, and operating the direction bar with his right hand. After casting magic, the nose slowly moved at an upward angle and began to climb. After maintaining a certain height, it finally stabilized. Her movements were still a little stuttering, and she was not fully used to these complicated operations. But as time passed, her movement became more and more fluid. Woohoo, Chu Yao felt thus the wind and waves blowing in his face, and he could see everything around in advance, and it seemed that he could see the lights in the distant city district. Senior sister, Matt Fast and Pagan. You put your clothes first. The elder sister was in the cockpit helplessly handing the company uniform to the two unfortunate pilots. C0016, what was the sound just now? What's the situation with Herbert? Please reply if you hear it. Oh, Chu Yao was startled by some loud voice in the earphone, and she forgot that she was still through mic. It was just a moment of hesitation. The other party had probably known that there was a problem, and the order came from the earphone, C0016, something was wrong. 0015, 17 and 18 to confirm the situation immediately. Good guy, some 3 helicopters at the same time. You really miss me so much. In a short period of time, 3 bright spots appeared on the airborne radar at extremely high speed. Then let me have a taste. Chu Yao acted first. The air conditioner of the fuselage was rotating, and small missiles in the aircraft were already locked on one of the 3 aircraft. What is 016 doing? The system had already reacted when the main team was locked on, but he couldn't load in time because he didn't expect the people to suddenly open fire. The missile fired out with pale white tail smoke, and the propeller shattered in pieces in the explosion. Forming gorgeous fireworks, with flames shooting up the sky. Report on the 17th, the 18th was destroyed by the 16th missile. Suspected being controlled by the enemy. Request for advice received from the main station. The Invasion Line is controlled by the accompanying ground forces, and C-16 is confirmed to be controlled by the prisoners. All, the second flight team immediately assisted C-15 and C-17 to intercept. The third team departed from Invasion Base, requesting permission to shoot at C-16. The request was approved. The main station's voice paused for a moment, and then without delay, the order to shoot was issued. On the airborne radar, Chu Yao found she was locked on by 2 helicopters behind her. A rapid alarm sounded, along with a flashing red light, which seemed to be announcing the final vacancy 16. Can't dodge. It's too close. Sister, the left may be it. I'll leave right to you. The eldest sister in uniform slammed the door on the right side open. Half of the cabin leaned out, facing the wind, and used the other hand to squeeze the magic formula. Then, the spiritual power in her body rushed out. In the next instant, the terrifying missiles in the sky turned into ordinary rocks. And there was a violent explosion on the ground not far away, creating a huge amount of dust. Small teleportation technique. Since they left the ceremony, they had used a few spells: fire expelling, wall piercing, levitation, transformation, soul searching, teleportation. Although they were all extremely basic mortal cultivation spells, with such a large consumption, ordinary Chi cultivators would have long source of their spiritual power. Only former Yuanying powerhouses like Chu Yao and Yujin could precisely control their spiritual power and maintain their balance. Still, their situation wasn't good. Sister did better. The soul servant method Chu Yao was just now consumed a large amount of spiritual power, and she was now driving with her mind. Although Yujin was annoyed by Chu Yao's outrageous behavior, she understood that hijacking just now was the only way to sleep. If they continued to follow Keanu in car, what awaited them was fate with car crash and death. There was another way, which was to use transformation art and become inconspicuous, but their spiritual power would not last long. If the alley company pursued in the search, the fate of being captured and returned to me was waiting for the two of them. No matter how good the spell was, they were afraid of the pistol. Their current training base couldn't stop bullets for the time being. The gravel and dust caused by the explosion temporarily blocked the pursuit with the two helicopters behind. Chu Yao's direct power was fully used, and the C-16 more than flew into the distance. Can you hold it? Not bad. Chu Yao's face was a little tired, but his eyes were still bright. The two of them had just passed the gates of hell, and they had encountered the life and death disaster of being chased and killed by missiles for the first time when they flew a plane. It was very exciting. Can you learn the location? I guess I know what you want. Sister, their base is on the Northern Mountain. We're calling them news just now, and the team is rushing over. If they go, it will be in their arms. She had her headphones off, and she was not afraid to be heard. Where is the current direction? East. That is the direction of Tianai City. Then let's continue. You turn around now. Easy getting away, and you still have a chance if you fish in troubled waters in Tianai City. Qihang Building is a landmark building in Tianai City, and is also the headquarters of the alley company on the Yuzar. It's a royal arch-shaped structure with like a giant sail, symbolizing the company's spirit, pioneering and wandering. Standing on the top floor of Qihang Building, you can see a panoramic view of the entire city. There are tall buildings nearby, and seen not far away is glittering, and flocks of seagulls flying. But now, the people in the office above are not in the mood to watch the scenery. What a waste. They are all trash. The two teams of 18 feet flamed weapons, and some of them snapped one below the other. What are they for? A man in a neat uniform was shouting on the phone angrily. 3 people were standing in front of him, all of them lowering their heads, not daring to say anything. He looked to be in his 30s, wearing a pair of silver-grey thin-rimmed glasses on the bridge of his high nose, and his slightly grey hair was combed back neatly, but now his hair was a little messy. Wu Yu, an employee of the alley company, was currently the mayor of Tianai City. During his 5 years in office, he stood in hard-working, so he had been widely praised by the public. During his tenure, the air in Tianai City had been smooth. Until today, 7 reports team. I don't really cost up flying dragon. Mayor Wu is not a matter of sending a security team now. The polish stood with a bitter face. He opened his mouth and handed over the phone. C-16 has entered the urban area. Mayor Wu anxiously picked up the phone, and the whole service was looking by various startles. Bomb. The Flying Dragon security guards suddenly broke in the urban area, suspecting carrying out a mysterious mission. The exiting news were behind. Not one, but dozens. Dozens of Flying Dragons flew into the urban area. What is behind them? Is it loss of morality or a perversion of human nature? I heard that the people mercenaries have feud with the company. It seems to be a demonstration, and the conflict has escalated. I took a picture of the scene. Wu Yu pointed with trembling fingers. Played the video, the dark and ferocious Flying Dragon weapon out past the glorious tall building, and the information to the people to be heard everywhere. Wherever they went, have you found the identity of the hijacker? What exactly are they trying to do? Their identities have been found. The two are miners from Bashan Mine. Will they arrive in the city centre? Based on the estimated fuel volume, if they can't fly at the city centre, they may be forced to land on the Egan Mountain Road. Oops. Mayor Wu sighed in relief, and then quickly dispatched the ground team and more important to minimize damage as much as possible. He came back to his senses, fired his hair slightly, and calmed down a lot. Then, he frowned as he suddenly remembered something and asked, how did I hide that plane? That's why I came to you, Mayor. The old man in security uniform handed over his mobile phone. This isn't the mayor's office, this is a press conference. Mayor Wu said with a smile, but he couldn't help but laugh when he saw the video a second later. This is the C-17's air camera. In the video, taken by Yi, as soon as the missile attack was launched, a figure suddenly appeared from the copilot position of the enemy aircraft in front. Then, the missile disappeared in the air and exploded on the ground not far away in the next second. This is it. Mayor Wu's face immediately became serious. I don't know if it was an operation error by the spacecraft personnel, but there were 2 faces slipped from the net. The old man said slowly. Mayor Wu continued to walk around the office with his hands behind his back. Eyebrows furrowed in a ball, find out the true identity and origin of these 2 people immediately, issue an arrest warrant and arrest them at all costs. I'll ask Command for advice. If powerful psych really escapes, things will be beyond our control. The 4 people present are all different in shape and colour. I don't know if they're thinking about the safety of the citizens or their own careers. I became popular in StarCraft. Chapter 19 Lu Shai. Lu Shai stood blankly in native roof with a gloomy and indifferent expression. She was 15 years old and had just finished junior high school, but she had no tuition to attend high school. Anna left home when she was young and never returned. Her father had been drinking, shopping, and gambling all day since then, and had ignored her. From childhood to adulthood, he had been raised by his old grandfather. The grandfather and grandson lived alone and relied on each other. Their lives were relatively stable, but such stability also had an end. Last week, my grandfather died suddenly. The reason was ridiculous. It was because of illnesses by vegetables, which caused my heart disease and rescue operation when she failed. Grandma was in poor health and had a lot of illnesses. Chai knew it very well. In this era, this disease was not an incurable chronic disease, but they had no money. The alcoholic father could do nothing but come back home and beg for money after he lost game, even real work. When Grandma passed away, CAE couldn't even give him a decent funeral, so she could only watch helplessly as the crematorium staff pushed Grandma in the incinerator. Holding her grandfather's urn, CAE did not cry. Her tears had been flowing for many years. With her family, being bullied at school was inevitable. No, and she was simply her father's child. The wind on the roof was fierce knives. Even adults could barely survive in such wet conditions for too long. But CAE did not feel the cold. She felt empty inside. At the window of the apartment opposite, under the streetlights, a pair of parents were celebrating their child's birthday, and the little boy was smiling brightly in front of the cake. I don't think I've ever had a birthday cake. There are thousands of lights, but none of them for herself. She felt that her life was ridiculous a joke. She had no relatives, no friends, nothing. Just like her name, the wind was a destination. Hey, is the wind getting stronger? Just when Belle heard it blossom about she stayed in her life, an accident interrupted her actions. At first, the wind was stronger and stronger, and then the sound of the wind became stranger and stranger, as the huge dragonfly was falling from top of her head. Liu Xiaoyi tried hard to look up, and then her eyes widened after being shocked by the scene in front of her. The large helicopter swayed and rushed towards the rooftop. She was on the push mount high. Hey, what happened? What happened? The sudden situation made her lose her balance and thought that she was going to jump off the building, but she only had the presence of mind to budge, but she slipped around and fell off the top of the building. Falling down. Ah, is that how it feels? Gravity pressed her to the ground. The cold wind took away her coat, and her thin body hung in midair. It was so cold. I'm going to die. It might be fine, but it's still cold. I really don't want to be cold anymore. A few tears streamed down her cheeks. The next second, she felt a rare warmth. The last time she saw her before she fell into coma, she saw her naked big bra flying out of the helicopter and hugging her in his arms. Ah, shush. I never thought that I, as a master of the Tianmen sect's ghosts and Immortals, would suffer such calamity today. It's all because of those unscrupulous and tyrannical people who let me live into the land. Big sister, I'm afraid I won't be able to survive this calamity. I still have millions of spruce stones hidden in the mountain lion cave. And after I leave, Ashu, don't talk too much. Let me quietly recuperate with your power. You still live off when Yuanying's death. Chu Yao was wrapped in a large fairy blanket, as flat as a ball of fur. Her eldest sat cross-legged, wishing her luck till no injuries. Beside them, the two of them were the unfortunate girl related to Liu Xiaoyi, who was also covered by a blanket, sleeping soundly. Where did this blanket come from, you ask? Naturally, Sini's sister stole it, and she had no money. However, they said the two of them had no bliss of food on the helicopter that day. Rampage and Tianai City, they were cornered, and they had no choice but to jump off and escape. Chu Yao was so confused that she couldn't see clearly, and when she was about to hit the building, she noticed that there was still someone standing on the top of the building. She wanted to warn, but it was too late. Her body moved unconsciously and saved the girl. When several people landed on the ground, Chu Yao had already reached his limit. The spiritual power in his body was exhausted, and he was about to fall precariously. Seeing that Bai Yue had no choice but to hold Chu Yao with her left hand and hold the child in her right hand, trying to avoid crowd days as much as possible, and run long distance on the cover of the night. Fortunately, she found the abandoned mason named relatively cool early. So she hid with the two of them. At noon today, I found the TVs and some sort of broadcasting our arrest warrant. I shall hide here for a few more days. Even when I go out, I shall remember to come up for 1 or 2. Understand? 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 Sister, don't poke my head anymore. I'm so dizzy. I don't think you'll understand. Sister looked like she was over Chu Yao, but she was completely scared of her young sister. As long as she was there, even more than ever turned into a horror movie. 4. This girl had been sleeping for 2 days. What should I do? Bai Yujin tilted her head towards the sleeping little girl. What else can I do? Kill me. Sister's mind was full of question marks. You say that, man, and now I should him. Do you really know what you're talking about? Bai Yujin rubbed against the TV in someone else's store where you went out these days, and she's especially like to watch several TV dramas. Chu Yao, the most understandable change to sister was that her words seemed to have become more and more around Earth. If she didn't kill her, what would I do? She had seen our true faces. She couldn't let her go. In the future, the entire city would know. The two idiots just left playing hiding in the slap-plated basement. Aye. Chu Yao's spirit power was so exhausted that she almost hurt Yuanying, which made her body very weak right now. Otherwise, she wouldn't be sick. She hadn't been sick in hundreds of years. I don't care. You know that I accept the apples, and I will solve my own problems. Suddenly, the two turned their heads to look at the girl at the same time, and the sharp senses let them know that the little girl had rain consciousness. The girl's eyelashes moved, and then she opened a pair of beautiful, big round eyes, very delicate, with a thin face that made people feel embarrassed. You're awake, little sister. Don't worry, I'm not a good person. And in 2 or 3 days, I'll drink you again. You hungry? You've been in coma for 2 days. Eat something. Seeing her unfeelable words, Bai Yue still felt sorry for the poor little girl. Thank you. The girl opened her mouth hoarsely for a long time before she could speak. She drank some water, picked up some food, and swallowed it. What's your name? Liu Xiaoyi, where's your home? Should we send you back? Sister, are you going to go up the mountain? Shut up. Liu Xiaoyi's eyes darkened, and it took a long time before she could answer. I don't have a home anymore. What about your parents? My mother is gone, and my father is gone. This time, she spoke without the slightest hesitation. Hey, I'm also a poor kid. Chu Yao sighed. Don't worry, CAE, from now on, you'll be with me. As long as I'm here, you keep everything. Hey, sister, why do you bring me? Thank you, sister. You're the one who jumped out of the plane and saved me that day. CAE still slightly trembling, but she didn't. She said like a teenager, it's not possible for a big kindness to save my life. I'm going. I won't bother my sister, and I won't spread the news about you here. She swayed and walked the door. Just as Bai Yujin was about to say something, Chu Yao spoke first. Come back. Since you will show him, where do you go now? Liu Xiaoyi was taken back by the question and stood up. There was a stunned look. That's right, there's no home where Grandma lives. So why go back alone? A vagrant, a beggar, a teenager who lives alone, without ability or education, will find it difficult to survive anywhere, let alone in a society with high hierarchy of heaven and man. There were puzzling in her eyes, and she helped clear up the corner of her clothes with her fingers. Since you said you wanted to repay a favor, I just needed Rebecca to help, so you could say help me. Liu Xiaoyi didn't quite understand what Rebecca Chu Yao was talking about, but she understood the meaning of the word. My sister said, let me say, that's true. However, she had no idea now, right? Chu Yao screamed like a ghost, laughs. Moreover, the two of us are all over the city, the criminals wanted, and you are hostage, so we couldn't let you go. You have to set your fate. Aye. Chu Yao started crying violently again in less than 3 seconds. Sister, I found out for this. The spirit stone from mountain behind Liu Xiaoyi recognised the violent teacher like that. Seeing that the guy was being bullied by the sisters, how do you think that you were reliable? Why are you more confused about the road ahead? Little girl, you are lucky. Your master, I am. Nascent soul. Previously, the people who wanted to provide me as master gathered at Mountain Mead. Chu Yao did not say anything in a hurry. Come. Let master see if you have fate with fairy. She muttered. The dwarves emerged from a ball of fur accidentally dug into Xie Yi's head. Xie Yi did not feel anything. She only felt that Chu Yao's hand was very warm. Then, she felt a chill spread through her body from head to toe, and she could not help but shiver. The aptitude was really good. No, sister, this is it. Chu Yao suddenly showed a look of shock with his face. Seeing that Bai Yu frowned, she put her hand on Xie Yi's head and pulled the label broken one after another. Bai Yu felt this for a long time. Then, there were flashing eyes, the evil spirit is possessed. I became popular in StarCraft. Chapter 20 Immortal. Fingers has a population of 100 million people, and only 100,000 monks. Everyone has different aptitudes, and they're always rare and unique buddies. The so-called Yinja absolute buddy is one of them, and is an extremely rare type, 1 in a million. This is one of the reasons why the two are shocked. Chu Yao, Bai Yu's master, is a legendary Yinja due physique, and their tactics were written to suit this buddy, and it would produce twice the results half the effort when practicing. Although the two of them were more in line with the requirements of the cultivation method, it was not a perfect Yinja due buddy. It can be said that it was coincidence that they met by chance abroad just now. What a feeling. Liu Xiaoyi was shocked. This was really a surprise. Bai Yu was surprised, and he looked at Xiaoyi with complicated gaze. However, this child had a bright future. The master could be considered a successor. The cultivation of the Ninja was thorough tuning, and the master said before he died that only Yinju buddy like it. The Ninja was trace of being God. But Chu Yao had other thoughts in her mind. Since Xie Yi, a celestial being, had such a body, it must have been passed down through bloodline, remembering that there might have been similar people in her ancestors. Then the question came. What was the difference between a celestial being and barbarian as they called themselves? Xie Yi's appearance showed that the celestial being could cultivate, and there might have been cultivators among the celestial beings a few generations ago. Does this mean that the celestial beings and barbarians have the same roots and origins? What kind of connection is there between Finian star located in Finian system and distant base camp of heaven and man only? What Chu Yao and her sister didn't expect was that the little girl in front of her told them the answer after a while. Don't say anything today, I'll make an exception, so I'll accept you for close to supple. You don't have the power to leave me. Close to supple. Xie Yi muttered a slightly unfamiliar word, a big doubt in her little head. Sister, what are you taking me to do? Taking cultivate. Cultivation. Liu Xie Yi thought for half a second, her face changed greatly, and she suddenly showed a little panic, and she retreated in the corner. Again, you are power. This is not a new word. Chu Yao had heard it from the before. Cultivators in the heavenly population would be called psychic or Phagian. That's fine too. She nodded. No, don't eat Xie Yi. Xie Yi is very thin and hairless. The girl was shivering in the corner. Hey, I was just joking. I don't really want to eat you. Where are you going? What kind of education did this girl have? After that, the two of them heard from Liu Xiaoyi about heavenly beings for use on cultivators, as well as the history of the heavenly beings. Because she had only graduated from junior high school, she only learned a general idea about these things. The specific details were unclear. But Chu Yao and the two of them got full context of sorted out. Thousands of years ago, there was no Kukai, no Revenant. At that time, the ancestors of the celestial beings lived on a planet called Yuzoa. At that time, cycles of kings of the world, isolated and ruling over everything. They were cruel and inhumane. They did all sorts of evil things. They exploited and oppressed the civilians to the utmost, and the people suffered unspeakably. All of this turned out in the first year of the heavenly calendar. At that time, Yu Star had entered the end of the era of the divine psychic power. The number of psychic people was rapidly decreasing, and their power was gradually weakening, which gave people room for development. The invention of the steam engine and magic stone technology was the beginning of the first technological revolution and the beginning of the civilization of heaven and man. And since then, the first year of the calendar had been mentioned. After that, the magic stone weapon that threatened psychers was born, and the conflict between the unlit people and the remaining psychers became more and more intense, which triggered the Immortal War. There were 2 Immortal Wars in total. The Second Immortal War was also called the 20 Years' War. It suffered countless casualties and ended with the victory of humans and death of all psychers. The victors called themselves Tiamen, which was also the origin of the Tiamen family. What Liu Xiaoyi was talking about was ancient history. Then, there were the internal struggles between heaven and man, 3 world wars, 4 scientific and technological revolutions. In short, after more than 2,000 years of development, the unified alliance between heaven and man has taken the lead in science and technology, expanding its reach, exploring the Star Sea, forming Vertical Land, opening the MTC. Packing up and leading the unfortunate Fenian Salmon to help dig, Chu Yao finally understood why Xie Yi was so scared when she heard that they were psychers. Because when it was in movies and television literature, or in celestial school history textbooks, the psychics described as existing as enemies were called psychers. They were called unlit species or superhuman civilizations. In the context of heaven and man civilizations, these words represent inferiority, evil, and decadence. They are alien barbarians, different from heaven and man, and represent about productivity. The value of resistance was basic labor. After listening to Xie Yi's lecture, the two were silent for a moment, and neither of them said anything. Chu Yao hesitated for a moment, and then said casually, Xie Yi, my sister will tell you a story. It happened far, far away from here. The story of the planet of psychers. Chu Yao usually did not remember the past very well. Although she often talked about the endless scenery of her ancestors, she was personally been present. But it didn't mean that she had forgotten everything about the past. The experiences from childhood to adulthood continuously surfaced from the depths of her memory, along with stories. And she told it with her own mouth. A little old woman in a peasant family, she went to the city to make a living. She accidentally met an old Taoist, a man known to the path of cultivation. There are humans and cultivators on the streets, states and sects, temporary cultivators struggling for a living, and they're powerful heroes. There are extremely dangerous and desperate situations, and there are world-shattering adventures. Chu Yao was deeply attracted to it, and the ups and downs of emotions are sometimes surprising, sometimes nervous, laughing when it was funny, crying when it was emotional. It was the first time she knew a world completely different from her own life, that is, the world of psychopaths. In that world, ordinary people and psychics were no enemies, and they could even coexist in harmony. But there were immortals and ordinary people who respect and worship immortals. Immortals have a shield and protection from ordinary people. Psychics were not evil. They were called cultivators. They were a group of people who followed the path of greatness and immortality. They were also humans, and they had human emotions. There were happiness, sorrow, confusion, and chaos. When they met, they were happy and sad when they left. It was the first time Chu Yao felt that the universe was so vast. It might be willing to speak of sorrow and sigh. Someone was experiencing life that was completely different from her. The sadness in her heart gradually faded, and her mood flowed along with her sister's words, and she flowed through an incomparable, wonderful world, pushing rape and eliminating evil, and fighting with sword. Ah, I'm so thirsty. Sister, give me something to drink. That little girl, that's my sister. Chu Yao patted her chest, her soft-feeling words hadn't calmed down, but what she said depended on the mood. Why you didn't throw a bottle of pure water casually, turned her head and looked at Chu Yao with a smile. After hearing so much, suddenly, it's difficult for you to sit right away. Were you and worship Yao as teacher, the final decision led to you. Using your hands. Chu Yao nodded. She still had to digest it. Then asked immediately, that is to say, the sisters were captured by the Yao Company's spaceship. It was almost the same as before. Chu Yao stopped telling the story and returned to being funny. It was pitiful. We took off all our clothes and all the kinds of tubes in the body. Hey, what's the matter? It's nothing. I heard on TV before the colony company was voted enslaved barbarians the name you saw, but I didn't think such a cruel thing would happen. Since the psychics are not as scary as they are. The book, let's hear it now. Unlike the psychics we'll use before, children can be taught. Chu Yao nodded fiercely. Okay, there's no use in saying more. You let the youth decide whether to go or say. So, the family of three started a homeless life in Tianai City. That's right, it was a family of three, and Chu Yao was one enslaved children. She was shocked to find that her two young sisters who cultivated knew almost nothing. Needless to say, I don't understand anything. I can't take the bus, I can't take the subway, I can't read the street map. These are trivial things and can be learned. When she saw that the grandfather who said he wanted to take her in as disciple looked like an enemy after seeing Weed King Rebel on the street, she began to suspect what she said before lying to herself. This proved that they were really from outer space. And now, no matter where you go, you have to stand the code. 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 But they don't have a mobile phone. Needless to say, Chu Yao and her sister black. Liu Xiao's family was poor by the way, and her grandfather didn't have money to buy her a mobile phone. This returned to the most important problem, they had no money. In fact, with Chu Yao and Mei Yu's strength, they didn't need Liu Xia. For ordinary people, those who knew magic was Superman, and they could have anything they wanted at their fingertips. But they didn't want to do it if they didn't have to. There were many reasons for this. The two of them had attracted too much attention when they hijacked the plane and fled. If they used magic again and left too many traces, they would inevitably discover them put them in a dangerous situation. In addition, the two of them didn't know how far away Ling Yunsha were from Feng Yunsha. If it was too far, they wouldn't be able to return at all, so they had to plan to stay here for a long time. Although he wanted to get revenge on the early company, his current cultivation was far from enough. Since he wanted to live for a long time, the best way is to integrate in this society. After 3 days of meeting, Chu Yao was first to get upset. I can't stand it anymore. I want to work.